This is Trouble by Connie Converse. I'll play it through once and then I'll break it down. Ever since we met, the world's been upside down. And if you don't stop troubling me, you'll drive me out of town. But if you go away, there's trouble ought to do. Where will I find another soul to tell my trouble to? My bed is made of stone, a star has burnt my eye. I'm going down to the willow tree and teach her how to cry. But if you go away, as trouble ought to do, where will I find another soul to tell my trouble to? They bid me wear my hat, put on a nice new gown. I toss my bonnet over the roof and I guess it won't come down. But if you go away, as trouble ought to do, where will I find another soul to tell my trouble to? Alright, so this one starts on C major. I'm in standard tuning. And what you're going to do is your thumb is going to go on the A string, and your pointer finger and your middle finger are going to go on the top two strings. Your E, your middle finger on the E string, your top string, pointer finger on the B string, second to top string. So just thumb, finger, thumb, pluck, do, tap. That's the first chord, do, cha, do, chick. The second chord is kind of it's really kind of a G dominant 7, but you're not playing the bottom two strings, so you don't need to worry about these bottom fingers. You're only worrying about that top, that F, so first fret on your high E string with your first finger. So first chord is, second chord, your thumb moves over to the D string, same pattern, so just thumb, pluck, again, thumb, pluck, thumb, pluck. So that's the ever since we met, the world's been upside down. And then we're going to go to A minor. So we're in A minor, and my thumb is going to go back to the A string, and my two fingers, instead of being on the highest two strings, are going to move over to the second highest two strings, so your B and G string. So the pattern's going to be thumb, pluck, pluck, thumb, pluck, pluck, thumb, pluck, pluck, thumb, pluck, do, cha, cha, do, cha, cha, do, cha, cha, do, cha. Okay, so it's, and if you don't stop, and then you're going to switch. Your thumb's going to go over to the low E string, and you're going to lift up your first finger and ring finger. So this is an E minor chord, but you don't need to worry about doing like the whole E minor shape because you're not playing the A string. So here's your A minor. Lift up those, leave your middle finger down and lift up those two fingers, and you're gonna leave these two fingers on those same strings, the G string and the B string. So not the highest two strings, but the third and second highest strings, and your thumb goes down to the low E. Doom chick, chick, doom chick, chick, doom chick, chick, doom chick, chick, doom chick, chick. So same pattern. So in context, it sounds like this. So you got A minor, E minor, back to A minor. Right, so the E minor is you're just lifting up those two fingers, your ring and your pointer, and then you're putting them back down because you're going right back to that A minor. So and then you're going to lift them up again, but this time your thumb, instead of being on the low E string, is going to be on the D string, which has your second finger down on it. Same pattern, doom, chick, chick. So that part sounds like this. And if you don't stop troubling me, you'll drive me out of town. So it's A minor, E minor, back to A minor, A minor, back to E minor. But your thumb is on the D string, the third lowest string, instead of the low E string. So and if you don't stop troubling me, you'll drive me out of town. And now we go to C major, and these two fingers go back to the top two strings. But if you go away, so that's like the same doom chick, chick, doom chick, chick pattern. So, and then your thumb goes over one string, so it's on the A string to play that, the C, and then it goes up to the D string. So it'll sound like this. If you go away, it's trouble up to do. So it's C major, doom, chick, chick. Thumb goes up to the next string, but you leave the C major down. And then here we have something a little different. We got thumb, thumb. So do, do, do. And that's when we change back to that G dominant 7, which is just your first finger on first fret. So it's if you go away, there's trouble up to do. So C, move the thumb up, and now we've got C, thumb over, and then G dominant 7. So on that chord, my thumb hits the G string, which is the fourth lowest string or the third highest string. So if you go away, if you go away, there's trouble left to do. And then we got where will I find you? So back to the C major. Where will I find you? And then your thumb goes up and you lift up those two fingers. So it's like the E minor again. So leave the second finger down, just lift up those two. So C. Where will I find another soul? So thumb is up on the D string. And now we have, this is probably the trickiest chord. It's an F chord. Instead of doing an F bar chord, we're gonna do, so third finger on the D string, third fret, second finger on the next string up, your G string, second fret. First finger is kind of barring those two top strings. So just play that. So you're just playing the top four strings. And this one's gonna be like, so you play, your thumb is on the D string, and then you lift up your ring finger. Doom chick, doom chick. So these two fingers are still just on the top two strings. So that's where will I find another soul to tell my trouble, tell my trouble. And then back to C major. 2. And then we've got this little interlude between the verses, which goes like this. C major. So thumb travels up. So it starts on the A string and then goes to the D string. And then thumb goes up again to the G string, and we lift up these two fingers for that like E minor again. So, and then we do a little plucking with the thumb on the D string, and we lift up that finger. So, and then back to C major. So it's C, C with the walk up on the thumb, lift up, and then we pluck, and then we go to G7. So I'll do that one more time really slowly. Oops. Lift up. So my thumb is on the G string on that. And then back to the D string. Lift up that finger. Back to C major. Now lift up everything except first finger on first fret for that G7. And my thumb is on the G string. Sounds like this. And then we're just back to the verse. My bed is made of stone, the star has burned my eye. I'm going down to the willow tree and teach her how to cry. But if you... So I'm going to skip actually now to the last verse and chorus because it's a little different. But if you go away, there's trouble a lot to do. There's that G7. Where will I find another soul? So thumb is on D string. Lift up these two. Another soul. And this time in the recording, she actually, instead of barring to make an F major chord, I'm hearing, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I hear her do she's not barring. So just first finger on first fret of your B string, and your top E string is open. So instead of a bar on that first finger, barring the top two strings, your first finger is just first fret on the B string. So hear how that sounds a little different? Versus. But it doesn't really matter, you can do it either way. But she goes, where will I find another soul to tell my trouble to? So it's tell my, so doom chick, and then thumb, thumb. So thumb is on the D string. Tell my trouble. So third finger on third fret, and then you lift it up for the open string, open D, and then to E major. A little bit of a funky cadence at the end. Instead of ending on, we end on, I guess it's called a, what is that, a deceptive cadence? Or no? I don't even remember what that's called. I guess a deceptive cadence is a minor 6, so no. But anyway, it ends on, she likes to do that in some of her songs, end on the major 3. So, last time. Where will I find another soul? So C major. Where will I find another soul? Lift up those two for the E minor. And thumb on the D string. Another soul. Now here's the F. To tell my trouble to. Tell my trouble to. So doom chick thumb thumb.